Hello everyone, this is Donna Scrivens with Spotlight on Sports and Events, and we have the very good fortune today to be speaking with Brian Shafer, and he's going to talk about his Michelle Shafer Scholarship Tournament that is coming up this Sunday. Brian, tell us a little bit about the tournament.
Well, the original intent of this event was to honor my late wife. She passed away almost 3 years ago now, and she took her own life. So this event is to honor her and to raise awareness about depression and suicide prevention. I think that's the most important thing. But my wife really was into education. She loved to read. She thought it was very important. So I thought the best way to honor her was to host an event that gave scholarship money to youth bowlers. And we have a great facility here at Crystal Lanes with Nikki Sullivan and Bobby Downing that host it. We've increased entries every year. And I think we offer a significant scholarship. It's $2,000 on the boys and girls side. So we look forward to having it this Sunday.
So it's going to be Sunday, November 20th. The entry fee is $50, and it starts at 10 o'clock with check-in at 9:30. But Ryan did talk to us before the interview and wants to make sure that anybody that's going to enter the tournament gets their entry form in, and so he can have the names and all the check-in information ready to go.
Yeah, not to interrupt
Right.
you, but it's very important. We have a limited field of 96 entries. We have 32 lanes here, so I don't want to go more than 6 on a pair. And I don't want to have to do more than one squad. Time-wise and just fairness-wise, I like everybody to bowl all at once. I need to know the names. It's okay. I prefer they pay ahead of time. But I need to know the names ahead of time so we can get their lane assignments and we get the roster. We know how many people are on a pair ahead of time so we don't get any surprises day of. We had a couple instances where kids were from Canada. They wanted to enter late, and they're not able to get the money to me in
Right.
time. So that's fine. Just make sure that if you're on the fence about bowling and you decide you want to bowl, just call Crystal Lanes, talk to Bobby Downing, or message me on Messenger on Facebook and get me your name, and I will put you on the roster and you'll be all set.
This is a scratch tournament, and it's open to all youth bowlers. Do they have to be USBC certified?
I'm not a stickler that way. The only way they have to be USBC certified is if they qualify for a scholarship. So I don't know whether it's legal or not. I really don't care. I kind of make my own rules. It's my tournament. If they are not USB certified, but they meet every other requirement as far as youth bowler, they can come and bowl. If they qualify for a scholarship, they can get a USB-C card afterward, and we can establish a smart account for them.
Good. Sports pattern. It is on a sport, and it's your pattern I understand you developed?
Yeah, I had help developing it. The first year we bowled on a WTBA pattern sole, and I thought that was okay, but a lot of people bowl on those patterns. Last year, I thought the kids would enjoy bowling on the new U.S. Open pattern that we bowled on in Dallas. The scores were a little low there. No one finished plus on that, and that's not the idea. I don't want to torture the kids. I want to have them make good shots. So Jerry Kessler out in Ohio, who is a prominent lane man who builds patterns all the time, he offered to build a pattern specifically for this event, so it's unique to this event.
Good.
It will always be used in this event. I've posted it on the Michelle Shafer Tournament Facebook page, so you can go on there, you can download it, you can practice on it all you want. I'm a firm believer that, as long as you prepare, you deserve to be rewarded, and I give everybody the equal opportunity by posting that a month ahead of time. Some people don't believe in posting patterns until the last minute, and I understand why they do that, but I'm a firm believer that if somebody's traveling for 4 hours, I don't want them carrying 20 bowling balls.
True.
I want to make it a little more convenient for them. So
True.
I post the pattern so they have a pretty good idea of what they're in for.
Good. Now, there are two divisions in this tournament, and yours is on the unique side in our conversations that the females bowlers only compete with the female bowlers to win the scholarship awards, correct?
Correct.
And the male, same way?
Correct. My girlfriend, Liz Culkin, was one of the best college bowlers ever. and she said when she was coming up through the scholarship program, she always bowled against the guys, and she enjoyed it. So we kind of have a little fight there going on. But my thing is this: when the girls go to college, they bowl against the girls. They don't bowl
Right.
against the boys, and the boys bowl against the boys. I'm awarding a scholarship for these kids to use in college. So I want the girls bowling against the girls. I want the boys bowling against the boys.
I understand that completely and agree with it. Liz, sorry, I kind of agree with Ryan on that. I've been to a lot of college tournaments. They're great to go to, and the one very good thing about bowling as a sport in general is there's a lot of scholarship money out there, and there's a lot of college teams that are looking for good bowlers. So it's a way to get your education partway paid for. Format, I'm looking at it, round of one. First round, it's bowl 4 games, and then you're going to cut the field to 12,
Yes.
irregardless of entries?
Yes. The first year, I've tried to make positive changes every year. You know, I was new at running tournaments. I've always tried to institute in this event things that I would like to see in a tournament. The first year, my mistake was I cut to a certain number of players, and not all those players received a scholarship. I cut to too many players.
Okay.
So they bowled extra games and were not rewarded for that. So, you know, like I said, the field's limited to 96. In an ideal environment, we would have 48 boys and 48 girls.
Right.
So I'm going to cut to 12 on each side.
Okay.
Once you cut to 12, those players will be rewarded with a scholarship. Then we do elimination format. We carry pins. I'm a firm believer in carrying pins. So we cut to 12. They bowl 2 more games, carry pins, cut to 6, cut in half. Bowl 2 more games, cut to 3. Now when we get to 3, I'm a little bit of a hypocrite. When we get to 3, then we just do a 2-game total on that pair. And the reason why I do that is not to give the person in third a chance and not to penalize the guy in first. I want some drama for the people here watching.
Right. So
That's my reason. And the scholarship, when you get to that point, the scholarships are pretty good, so you're not penalizing
Right.
them enough. I believe that, and I haven't done this in the past, but I think I'm going to do it this year. If you're leading going into the 3-game or the last 3-person
Right.
format, you can't finish lower than second.
Right, guarantee them the
You're
second spot.
guaranteed second place.
That's good. So it kind of takes into what you said, you're awarding them for the pins that they've developed and the lead they've developed to get to that spot. Because I know we've had many conversations
Right.
with you about carrying
Right.
pins over.
Well, I mean, believe me,
Yeah.
I understand the other side of it. I'm pretty firm in my beliefs.
Mhm. Can't fault you for being firm in your beliefs, Ryan. Now, this is the flyer, and you can find it on your Facebook page,
Yes,
correct?
it's on the Michelle Shafer Scholarship Fund Facebook page.
All right. And also the oil pattern you can find on the page as well. And I think you have some sponsors you might want to mention, right? As far as who helped you with this tournament?
We have had a ton of contributors. For one thing, the facility here at Crystal, Bobby Downing is relentless trying to get entries. We had a benefit to help this event raise some money.
Yes.
Because in the past, I've been all private donation. People wanted to donate. I didn't do corporate sponsorships or anything like that. So we ran a benefit, and all my sponsors came through. Motive, Vice Inserts, Genesis Tape, all those guys came through and donated prizes. But we also had competing companies. Chuck Gardner from Brunswick donated a ball.
Wow.
Marty
That's
Capullo,
great.
who runs the center in Schenectady, where Liz Bowles donated a Global 900 ball. John Zerbinski, one of the top players on tour recently, donated a Storm ball. So it wasn't just isolated to my sponsors. We had some people that really wanted to contribute. Doug Mosier, who's been a big benefactor of this event, donated the Buffalo Bills tickets
Right.
that were the main raffle item in that event. And Doug has donated a lot of money over the years to this event, and we really appreciate that. Jim Pitts, every year, he actually tabulates how many strikes he throws and how many opens he has, and designates a certain amount of money for those things, and then donates at the end of the year, at the end of the bowling season. I believe he gives it to me on Shelly's birthday, because he loves Shelly just like everybody else, and that's how he contributes. There's so many people that, you know, the benefit had 28 teams.
Right.
And,
We
and
were
I
here
would
for
say,
that.
and I would say more than half, you know, Bobby Downing just really was, the word's relentless. I mean, he just would not give up until he was almost full. And it's much appreciated. We raised a lot of money for that. You know, we have players on tour that have donated jerseys for silent auction. Pete Weber donated a jersey, and I went and got it framed, and it was signed, and it had a nice plaque with it.
Yes.
And that went for $500.
Yes.
So, you know, things like that. You know, it's really nice to see people want to contribute.
That's great.
Plus all the people that bowl the benefit. I mean, the benefit doesn't go unless people want to bowl and they want to be part of the raffles and the Chinese auctions and all that. So, you know, I probably forgot some people, but, you know, there's so many contributors over the years. You know, Warren Burr, the trophy is named after him. The champions of the tournament put on the Warren G. Burr Championship Trophy. Warren had a bout with depression many years ago, and he still struggles with it periodically. And this event's very important to him. So he usually contributes a pretty sizable check. And every year here I put up a board that lists the contributors to the event.
That's very nice.
I like to recognize them.
That's very nice. I know the fundraising event, Ray and I was fortunate enough to be here, and Ray bowled in it, and it was a great day and a really fun time, and he had a great turnout for it. So it was a well-received event. Hope you do it again next year.
I plan on it.
Do you have the date for next year, talking about next year?
We don't have a date. You know, we usually run around this time period, mainly because if anybody has been to Crystal Lanes, they do a ton of events on weekends. You know, they do Bowl for the Cure, they do a fundraiser for the Hall of Fame, they do Big Brothers, Big Sisters. It always seems like they're doing something. So it's hard to nail down a date early in the season because
Right.
they start out boom, 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 and those people have their dates firm. Plus, dealing with my schedule, this is usually where it falls, where I can be here and they have an open date. I would like to be able to have a date where we were talking about this before we went on air. You know, NCAA girls cannot accept scholarship money in season. This is their season, so I think that kind of hurts entries a little bit.
Right.
I know Danny Wiseman has his event in October, you know, so I don't want to compete with that. You know, we have a little conflict with YBT, it seems like every year, but I'm not going to worry about that. You know, people, if they want to go bowl YBT, go bowl YBT for $100. You know, this is $2,000, it's for a good cause. So I'm not going to worry about that. But this seems to be like the best time to do it because some kids are home for Thanksgiving.
Right.
And
That's
I
true.
think we've been pretty successful around this time.
Good. Well, any closing comments, Ryan?
No, other than the fact that, you know, every year we do something new. We have a couple surprises this year. I really like to reward the defending champions. I like to honor them. I think it's very important. And, you know, your live streaming is very important to this event. I was thrilled when you and Ray wanted to do this. I think the kids will love it. You know, we're going to do some interviews with some of the kids that day, and I think they'll enjoy that. Get them used to doing stuff like that. And I just think that I think they'll enjoy bowling on the pattern. And I think they'll enjoy. I added a game this year. I made it 4 games instead of 3. By, you know, some parents, you know, thought it was a good idea. You know, they travel a certain line, they don't want to bowl just 3 games.
Right.
They want to get a little more for their money.
That's
so,
right.
you know, I didn't raise the entry fee, and I sucked it up because I pay lineage to the bowling center. So I didn't raise the entry fee, but I added games because it's not about that. It's about what's best for the kids and trying to come out with a deserving champion.
Yes, because this way they have 4 games so that they have more time to make up a game that may not have been what they wanted at the time that they bowled it.
I agree.
So, well, thank you, Ryan.
Thank
We
you,
really
Donna.
appreciate it.
I appreciate your time.
Thank you.